All right, hello Diane Turton Realtors agents. This is Brian Gargano, Marketing Manager for Diane Turton Realtors. As you know, we've implemented a new express email system called Zephyr. This is going to help you enhance your templates when you use express email. There's a few new neat little features that you can use in the system now. All your contacts and other information have remained the same. The way you log into the system still remains the same, but Noel from Resora is actually going to demonstrate the differences in how to now populate these templates with your listings, listing information, and just go over a few of the basic features in the new Zephyr system. So Noel, if you'd like to take over now.
Thanks so much, Brian. Hi, everybody. Like Brian just said, my name is Noel Demo, and I'm an account manager over here at Resora. I want to also let you know that Danny Schaefer is here from Resora as well, and he will be helping to answer any questions you ask in our live chat throughout this webinar. So while I'm talking, if you do have a question, feel free to pop that into the chat box, and Danny will be answering those questions for you in real time. All that said, today we are going to introduce you to our brand new Zephyr builder. And this builder will be replacing the older legacy builder, which you all have been using. Using Zephyr will show you how you can create gorgeous marketing pieces featuring your listings really quickly and easily with inside of the builder. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, right now I am in a demo agent account with Diane Turton. This is a real agent account. However, it is just used for demonstration purposes, also used to test out content before it's released to the entire Diane Turton network. So you'll notice it's pretty basic. When you see the footers, it says Jane Agent. Like I said, it's not an actual real person, but it is an actual account. So that said, when you first log into your Resora account, you're always brought to the dashboard page. So if I want to go ahead and create a marketing piece, I can do so a couple different ways. First, I can click on this big blue button here at the bottom that says create a new marketing piece, or I can go to the marketing materials menu tab and click create new marketing piece. Once I do that, it brings me to my select a template page. And this is where you're going to first start seeing changes as a agent who's actually been working in the Resora system. So let's just talk through these quickly. First, on the left-hand side, underneath select a template, you'll see this version section. Right now, whenever you are using Resora and you're creating a marketing piece, the templates you're going to see are going to be Zephyr. We've made it so that it's auto-toggled to the Zephyr templates, and you'll see that I have 4 in this specific system. Now, if you ever do need to access any of the legacy templates, maybe you need to create an email or just see a design, you can always check on the legacy toggle to actually view those previous templates. And you still have access to these as of right now, but like I said, we really recommend that you start utilizing the Zephyr builder as it will be replacing legacy. So that's the first thing. Second, if we go ahead and scroll down, you'll see this dynamic tag slots in a template. This is a new way that you can actually filter through your available templates. And you can do so by filtering through listings, agents, or articles within inside a template. So as of right now, if I look at listings in a template, it's saying that there's a maximum of 2 listings in a template. So if I just wanted to find a template with 1 listing, I could change that minimum maximum and filter it out, or just adjust this however I need. Same with agents as well as articles. The only other thing is at the very bottom, you have categories. So if you're looking for a really specific template, you can always check by category to actually filter out those templates. So you have a few different options there. All of that said, before we go ahead and grab a template and start creating our marketing piece, I do want to note that when you hover over a template, you have the ability to see the dynamic content with inside the template. You'll see I've hovered over, we'll say this one on the far right, 1 listing, 4 photos. Under template attributes, I can see that this is 1 listing with 1 agent. Now it's really important to note that there are dynamic templates such as this one that have your listings in them, or there's editable templates such as this first day of spring one here, which again, you can jump into and edit as you see fit. It won't be pulling in any data from your MLS or from an article newsfeed source. So let's go ahead and choose this 2 listings template here and start building our marketing piece. Again, because this template did have those listing tags with inside of it, we have to actually choose our listings before we can go in and edit the template itself. Now, there's a couple steps that you want to go through. First, you just want to choose your listings. So I can go ahead and filter my listing type by residential, land, whichever one I'm looking for. Let's say I'm not seeing my listing, but I have that listing ID maybe written in my notebook next to me. I can very easily type in that ID, click search, and find that listing so long as it's within inside the MLS. In this case, I'm seeing that I need to add 2 listings from the below table to the right. So I'll go ahead and add this listing here. And then I just want to toggle through and I'll add this listing right here. Once you have both of your listings selected, you're able to preview what those are going to look like. So I'm now able to just take a quick preview of what my marketing piece is looking like. Looks fabulous. I'm happy with it. So I want to go ahead and continue to edit that marketing piece. Once I click continue to edit, I'm brought to the marketing piece edit page. So you'll notice on the left-hand side is where I can edit. On the right-hand side is where I can distribute that piece. So let's of course start with editing the piece. If I go ahead and click on edit, I'm brought into our brand new builder, which does look quite different from the legacy builder, as I'm sure all of you are seeing. So before I jump into this, let's just talk about some features within this and just some general settings that I want you to be aware of. Start at the top first with the edit tab. So right now we're able to actually edit this piece. Now let's say I want to preview what this piece is looking like on a desktop or mobile phone before I actually send it out. Previously in the legacy builder, you would have had to complete your piece and send a test email, which could get a bit monotonous if you were working and just kind of wanted to see what it was looking like as you were doing the work. Now you can toggle over to preview and actually view your email piece in either a desktop or a mobile setting. So I can see how that's looking and make any changes before I actually go ahead and send out that piece. Next, let's say I've made some changes, I've clicked save. If I go to tools, I can actually send a real life test email of the last saved version of my marketing piece. So if I maybe want to see what the piece is going to look like in my inbox versus just using the preview tab, I can send that last saved version of the piece to the email that's attached to my Resora account. And then underneath that, if you just click on the getting started videos, it brings you to a link with some helpful videos that just kind of talk you through the builder itself. So that's the top menu bar. Next, let's go ahead and look at these different tabs on the right-hand side of my screen. Let's start with settings. So if I click on the settings tab, I can see the general settings of the marketing piece itself. Now, I just want to point these out. You don't need to make any changes to these. Your marketer has actually already set all of these for you. But again, I just want you to be aware that these are the settings for the overall marketing piece that you're working in. Next, we have rows and content. So previously in the legacy builder, you had sections and blocks that you worked within. And it was kind of frustrating because you could only have one editable section. So if you were working on a piece such as a newsletter, it got kind of tricky as far as what you could edit with inside. Now we just have rows and sections. So you'll see this Diane Turton Realtors logo. If I actually hover inside that logo, you'll see a little content block at the very top. But if I hover outside of it, you'll see the little row section pop up. Again, you just need rows to be able to have content with inside of them, and you'll see that all of these pieces of content are inside of very specific rows. So that is rows and content. Let's go ahead and kind of just talk about the different types of content that we're seeing within this piece right here. So first, of course, this is a very specific listing piece. We have 2 featured listings that have auto-populated from our MLS, which are looking really great. Of course, we have images. So if I wanted to, click on this image, I could see some content properties over on the right-hand side that I can go through. Same with the text. If I click on the text, I get this little menu bar, which allows me to make any edits to the text that I may need to as well. And then underneath
If you don't mind
that,
me jumping in for a sec, Noel.
Sure.
So one of the huge benefits to this new system, in my opinion, and I think it'll be helpful for the agents going forward, is in a situation where, let's say you just do a price reduction on a listing. Usually it takes 24 hours to go through the MLS feed into any systems such as Resort that we have. So if you guys want to do a price reduction and get it out that same day within the next few hours, what you now have the ability to do is change the price, right, in these templates. Because with the previous template builder, you were locked into whatever template you had from MLS. But now it still pulls in the information from MLS, but you have the ability to also modify any prices, or even if there's a little address issue, then you can go ahead and change that right within this template very easily.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Brian. And it's a great point. Like you said, everything is completely editable. So if you do have that price change, or maybe you have a description that's pulling in and it has a typo, you can now edit that before you send it out to your contacts, which is, again, a fabulous feature. So that's text and images. Next, we have buttons. Of course, the buttons are pretty straightforward. Your marketer has created these so that they're on brand, ready to go. And if you just go ahead and click on them, you'll see that the URL for your listing link with the specific listings is already auto-populated. So there's really not much you need to do to this template itself. It's pretty much just good to go. Now, I do want to mention, let's say, for example, you have this template here and you maybe want these images to look a little similar. You're liking this house image, you maybe want to see more of an image of the home versus the pool in this one. Instead of trying to scavenge, or excuse me, as far as trying to like look and search for an image, you can actually pull in a different listing image right within inside the builder. So for example, if I want to change this image to something else within the listing, I can go ahead and just click on this image and click Change Image. Once I do that, I'm brought into Resort's new file manager. And we'll come back to this, don't worry. But for right now, I just want to focus on this first folder here titled My Listings. So if I go ahead and click on My Listings, and actually it's important to note, if you are going to change the image, just take note of that address, so 2027. But again, jump into My Listings. It's going to prompt you to choose the listing type. In this case, it's residential. And then you'll be able to see all of your listing images underneath residential within this folder. So as you recall, the listing I had chosen was 2027. If I actually click on this folder, I can see all of the different images within the actual listing itself. And if I want to instead use a different image as my featured image, I can really easily just click Insert, and it's just going to simply edit that image right there, which is perfect. It's all set to go, and I don't need to do anything else. So that is swapping out an actual listing image. One other thing I want to note is if you scroll down, you'll see your agent footer. Now, just like in Legacy, this is going to auto-populate with all of your information, including specific social links. It's just going to populate with all the information that is in your account and profile settings. So if you are using Resora, it is very important that you always check your account and profile settings. You can do so by going to your menu bar here at the top and clicking Account and Profile Settings. And then this is where you want to fill in all of this information here. Again, with all of the footers that your marketer has created for you, all of that information is going to pull from this page. So it's extremely important that you're putting in all of your information as well as your social links. And if for some reason, let's say for example, you don't have a YouTube link, not a problem. You don't have to run out, create one just so that you can maybe have it fill in as a specific icon if it's in there. Instead, leave it blank. Your marketer has taken it upon themselves to actually put in all of their own company social links. So for Diane Turton Realtors as a whole, that way if your specific social link isn't there, it'll just populate with the Diane Turton Realtors one. So all that said, I want to go back and let's look at some other marketing pieces or other templates available to you. Now I was just working in that to listing template. Let's say I want to grab this one listing 4 photos template. If I just go ahead and choose that, again, it's going to prompt me to choose my one listing, which I can very easily do. And then I can preview and continue to the edit step. So if I go ahead and jump over to the edit step, you'll see that this template does look different, but again, it is pulling in all of those specific listing images. It's going to pull in the first 4 within that folder. And again, if you did need to change those, you could do so by clicking change image and going to that specific address folder. And again, all of this information you can edit should you need to. So for example, great example right here. It looks like it's cut off with a ... So I could just go ahead and really quickly edit that, make it just a complete sentence. So the listing templates, they're very easy to use. Again, it's as simple as just choosing your listing, and then it's going to auto-populate all the information and you're good to go and send. So for this template, since there's really nothing else I need to add to it, I can just go ahead and save and exit, and then I can distribute out my marketing piece. So if I wanted to distribute this piece, I would first need to make sure I had a subject line. In this case, there's a default subject line set, so I could use this one or maybe alter it a little bit if I needed to. Otherwise, if I scroll down, again, I have the option to send one last test email to make sure that piece is in tip-top shape before my contacts see it. And then at the very bottom, we have distribution. So if I want to distribute this piece to my email recipients, which is likely what most of you will be doing, you can just click on that select email recipients button and then choose the contacts that you want to send the marketing piece to. Now I can either drag and drop individual contacts into the recipients list, or I can actually grab one of my specific distribution lists and drag that whole list into the recipients section. And once I have all my contacts that I want to send this piece to under recipients, I can either click send now to automatically deploy the piece, or I can choose schedule for later, which will prompt me to choose a future date and time that the marketing piece will be deployed at. So it's very simple, and this portion of the builder really hasn't changed from legacy. It's still just as easy to distribute to your contacts. I'm going to jump back to the distribution options, and let's just talk through these 3 at the bottom. So first, if you want to download a PDF of your marketing piece, you have the ability to do so by just clicking on that button, and then you're able to see a separate window with your marketing piece in that PDF format. Now, if you'll notice, it kind of renders it a little bit differently, breaks it up in different spots. Reason being is we created the PDF functionality as a way for you to actually check your piece before sending it. I want to note that this is not meant for print purposes. I would not print this out and use it as pamphlets that you hand out to your contacts, but rather use this as a way to check and make sure the piece is good and filled out all correctly before you send it out. So that's the download PDF format. If I wanted to share this piece to social, I can do so by clicking on the social share button. Once I do that, it's going to prompt me to choose a photo that's featured within my social post, and then of course put in a title and a specific description. Now I will note, if you are going to share to social, our feature works with the following social media platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest. And it's important that if you're going to share to any of those, you have them already opened and logged into. So for example, if I had my personal Facebook opened, once I had my title filled in, if I put in a description or leave this blank, that's totally fine. If I went to step 2 and click share, I would see this post now pull up into my Facebook profile, and I could actually make any changes and then share it to my newsfeed. So that's how you would share your marketing piece via social.
No,
and then
really
finally,
quick. Would they have the ability to still share to Facebook business pages? I remember that was available in the older templates as well.
Yes, you should still be able to share to the Facebook business page as long as you are logged into that page.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. The only final thing I want to know underneath share is you have this public link, which is available. When I click social, it automatically creates that public link. So if I go ahead and just click on that link, it's going to open up my email marketing piece in just a nice web browser. And you'll see that this is an active version of the piece. I can actually click on the images. I can click on the view more button and actually see where this is taking me. But essentially, this is, again, a great tool that you can use to check your piece, make sure it looks good before you email it. You could also use this social link if you maybe wanted to just send a tweet or put this anywhere you want, this URL. You have the ability to do so. And then of course, let's say you are sharing listings with a contact. Maybe you have 5 listings and 5 separate marketing pieces. Instead of sharing 5 marketing pieces with them, maybe just send one email and include the public links in that email. Just makes it a little bit easier. So you have quite a few options in distribution. And again, you'll likely just be using the email recipients, but all of these are there for you. So that said, I'm going to jump back and let's create a marketing piece that maybe doesn't have listing information inside of it. Let's grab this first day of spring piece. This is again an editable piece. When I hover over it, you'll see that there are no listings or articles inside of this piece. And so if I click on this piece, it's just going to take me straight to the edit page instead of putting me through that original workflow. So again, if I want to go ahead and jump into this piece, it looks great, but of course I do have the opportunity to edit the text or the images. So let's say I maybe want to adjust this and make it more of a summer piece. I could of course change out the text, but if I want to change out that image, I can do so again by clicking on Change Image. And instead of going to the My Listings folder, this is where you want to jump into your My Files folder. Now this folder is personal to your specific agent account, and this is where you can see all of your specific images. So if I need to upload an image from my computer, I can click Upload and open up my files and just drop that in. Or you'll see that you have the option to click on this Search Free Photos button. Now you'll see that Resora has partnered with 3 different stock photo companies, so you have the ability to actually search their databases free of charge and use their images within all of your marketing pieces. So if I want more of a summer themed image, I can type in summer and then I can kind of search through and see all of the images available. In this case, we have 192 to choose from. And if I find the one I'm looking for that I'm really liking, it's as simple as just importing that into my folder. And then of course, inserting that into the marketing piece specifically. I'll just give this one quick sec while it loads. Again, I just want to click insert and it's going to really quickly update that image accordingly.
This is very beneficial. So now agents don't have to go onto Google and try and search for images, where now they can just search right within Resora for high quality images for all different kinds of occasions.
Absolutely. It's one of our most used and most liked feature within the builder. So highly recommend if you are needing an image, again, go to that change image, search for free photos to be able to search the database of these 3 stock photo companies. All right, so that's how I could go ahead and actually edit out this image should I choose. As far as other types of content go, we haven't actually grabbed a template with articles in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just create one final marketing piece and kind of show you the steps for if I have a template that has articles in it. So just like with listings, if I go ahead and grab this newsletter to articles, it's going to again prompt me to fill in those articles before I edit the piece. Same way it did with the listing. So if I click, you'll see that I'm going to be put through the exact same workflow as listings. Instead of choosing my listings, I'm going to choose my articles. So it's important to note that you have quite a few options for choosing articles. You can of course filter by the type of article. So if I want to choose national, I can actually click on sources and view the sources that my brand has tied into my account. In this case, it's Inman News and Realtor Mag. Or I can go to local sources and we'll see that we have one local source that's been tied here. And then there's also custom sources, which in this case, there's no custom sources tied to this account. But an example of this would be if there was a specific blog for the company or something like that your marketer wanted to tie to your account. But in this case, let's just go ahead and stick with national. Again, I can filter by the source. Otherwise, I can also filter by the time frame. If I want to make sure my articles are super relevant and timely, I can do in the past week. And I can see that date over here under the date section. And then I can either scroll through those articles or I can maybe search by keyword for a specific article I'm looking for. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and add these first 2 options here at the top. And just like with listings, once I have my total number selected, in this case 2 of 2, I'm able to preview what those articles are looking like. And you'll see, just like listings, they're auto-populating all of the information, even putting in a specific photo. So all the work is pretty much done for you. You can just go ahead and continue to edit. So if I jump ahead to the edit section, again, this is where I can just see what my piece is looking like, and I can make any changes I need to. In this case, like I said, these articles have populated beautifully. I have my title, source, a nice description, and then of course a read more button that is already linked to that specific article. So if my contact clicks on it, they're just going to be sent straight to that article specifically. All right. So we have talked quite a bit about the different types of content and templates that your marketing team has made available to you. Right now, like I said, you're only going to see 4 templates. That's just because I'm in my demo account. But as your marketing team starts releasing templates, you're going to see this populate. And you'll have quite a few options as far as listing articles, as well as these holiday and more editable templates that you can choose from.
You mind if I intervene real quick?
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to let everyone know that we will have all the templates that we had in the previous legacy system available to you guys in the new Zephyr system. I'm currently still in the process of transferring all those over to the new system, but you'll have access to all of them just like you did. And as always, if there's any templates that you guys don't see or that you want, I can create them for you if you just reach out to me. And I'm sure it can benefit not only you, but all the other agents too. So I'm always willing to do that for you guys. But the time frame on that is probably within the next week. I think July 1st was our date that we were going to officially roll out this new system for you guys to start using. But if you're not comfortable using the new system yet, the old legacy system is still there in the meantime for you guys to use.
Thanks, Brian. All of that said, I do just want to point out, if you have any questions while you're actually working within Resora, feel free to reach out to our support team directly. You can do so by email at support@resora.com. Our support team is absolutely fabulous. They respond to emails extremely quickly, and they're eager to help you. They're here to help you. So if you do have questions and you want to reach out to someone on our team, you can do so very easily, again, by emailing support@resora.com. And then, of course, your marketing team is also available for any help as well. So all of that said, I would like to open it up for questions, unless, Brian, there's anything else that you would like me to cover off on.
Nope, I think you covered everything that I'd wanted you to cover. I do see one question. Can you import a specific article from other sources than in the auto articles?
Great question. So we can only import articles that are tied into your account through the RSS newsfeed. So you'll see that when I had grabbed that original template, it updated that specific marketing piece with the actual articles that we chose. However, let's say that you want to add an article, or maybe you want to just edit one of these. It's not relevant to what you're looking for. You have a specific article in mind. You can, of course, edit all of this information. So if I had a different article I wanted to feature, I could edit the title, swap out the image, and then just edit the source and even change the URL link. So again, you can edit this as you see fit, but the purpose of Zephyr, again, is just to make this really easy for you to use so you don't have to do so much work. But that functionality is still there if you did have that custom article that you wanted to put into your piece.
Okay, if anyone has any other questions, feel free to type them in on the side. Otherwise, if that's it, Noel, did you have anything else you wanted to go over?
Not at this time. I know that you guys are just getting started in the builder, so I don't want to overwhelm you. I'm sure as your brand begins to add additional templates, you guys will start seeing some additional templates that maybe have video in them for, a virtual tour or things like that. But we can always cover off on that during a different time.
Yeah, certainly. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. Noel, thank you very much for this demo. Oh, wait, we do have one more question. Joanne. Will our distribution lists be moved to Zephyr? Yes, all your contacts and lists are still within the system untouched, so you still have access to all those.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that, I want to make it really clear, your contacts are completely separate from your templates, and essentially the template builder is what's changing. We just
Right,
have an
right.
updated version of the builder, and that's why when we go to create a marketing piece, you see just those different toggles to see the different types of templates, but your contacts, your account and profile settings, all of that is going to stay exactly the same, so don't worry about losing any of that information.
Mhm.
But if that is all the questions, I'm going to give you guys back a solid 29 minutes of your day. I just want to say thank you for joining today's training. Again, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team. We're really excited to get you guys into the new Zephyr Builder, and I think you'll be really pleased once you start using it. As I've demonstrated, it's much more intuitive and easier to use, and you can really customize your pieces to be unique to what you're looking for. So
Definitely. Look
with
forward
that
to
said,
using it.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Noel. Take care.
All
Bye-bye,
right,
everyone.
bye guys.